channel. This is Angel Does ASMR. In today's video, I am going to be doing a little background, or like a little history. Not less, I don't know, just doing a little history on history report, I guess you can say, on Las Vegas, Nevada, Primm, or Prime, Las Vegas, Nevada. sure it will save Primm Valley, because I mean there's already an airport in Vegas, but if they're planning to build new, like maybe, who knows, maybe they might bring back the mall, or like not demolish it, but like fix it up nice, and maybe add another hotel with like a beautiful resort or something that can draw people, you know. And if that airport is cheaper than the one that's like closer to, I mean, because the one in Vegas, right by the strip, I mean, it's close to the strip, but not like super, super close. I don't know how to explain it. It's still like a good drive, you know. You're still gonna drop like 25 bucks on an Uber just to get to the hotel. And this is even further, though. Primm Valley is further, but if the flights are cheaper there, then I'm pretty sure they'll get more people to go, you know, to that airport, maybe. And because with this economy right now, Vegas is super, super expensive. So, who knows? Maybe it'll draw more people to, you know, just go there, and then, maybe they'll bring back the roller coaster. Who knows? You know, it'll draw more people. I'm pretty sure it will. A lot of older heads, no offense, but like a lot of the older people do love just gambling, so they don't care that they're not on the strip gambling if they can get a cheaper flight, but waste all their money or spend all their money on the slot machines once they land. That I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with that. Cheaper flight, more money to gamble, you know. But yeah, if it doesn't do that, which sucks, that's a lot of money and work, you know, to try to revive this place. And it's super, super like nostalgic for some people, not for me. I mean, yeah, I would have stopped there with my mom and stepdad and my little brother a lot, but I didn't really, like, I guess technically I grew up going there, but we didn't start visiting Vegas with my parents until I was in high school. So it's not like I grew up, like, there's people who have stories from them being like 5 years old, 7 years old, going with their families to ride the log ride. There's a log ride in Buffalo Bills as well as the casino. So, you know, they are actually people that grew up going to this place with family, and now they're in their 40s or 50s, you know, who knows, but, or like, yeah, 40s. So this place does mean a lot to some people, and a lot of people hated to see it go. I did, I was one of them. So, let's see what else we can find. Let's see. So Primm is off Interstate 15. There's a little picture of Whiskey Peaks, and then the map there. Interstate 15. Primm was initially known as State Line and started a small motel and coffee shop. We already read that. Trying to see what else is new there. A Clark County Comprehensive Planning Department estimate placed the population at 284 on July 1st, 2006, apparently using different boundaries for the area in December 5th of 2007. Article in Las Vegas Review Journal. Primm's population is listed at around 1,132. For 2020 census block 2,156 or 2156 census tract 57.03 and block 2155 census tract 57.03 showed a total population of 650. I also heard, let me see if I can find it, but there was a rumor going around, or I'm pretty sure it's actually true, I think it's true, of the owner of Primm Valley, or whatever, you know, when he died, he wanted to be buried, like, standing up in the hills. So, let me see if I can look up a picture. Owner. He wanted to be buried, but standing up or something like that in the hills, so behind Whiskey Peaks. Even Buffalo Bills, but behind Whiskey Peaks, there's like a closer mountain or hill that's right behind it, and I guess he wanted to be buried standing up there, just so he could look over his hotels and, you know, his little around Primm Valley. Probably not in a bad way, you know, they just see like apparitions of him. They see like shadows of a guy with like a cowboy hat or hat. I don't know what kind of hat he would wear, but they think it's him. And then, if I'm not mistaken, there was a little girl that was murdered or assaulted and murdered. I'm not sure, but it happened, I believe, at Whiskey Pete's by a 19 and 20-year-old or a 20-year-old. I can't remember, but they were like in their early 20s, and they assaulted the little girl, I believe, or just murdered her. And they say they see that little girl around the casino as well, which is really sad. But yeah, and scary too. But let's see. So let's see. Yes. So I looked it up on Google. Yes, there is a legend that Pete McIntyre, also known as Whiskey Pete, also the Whiskey Pete, that was the other guy, the namesake of Whiskey Pete's casino in Primm, requested to be buried in the surrounding hills to watch over his property. A legend that may stem from his actual grave being disturbed during the casino's construction, while the legend attributes this wish to Whiskey Pete. The casino was originally opened by Ernest J. Primm. Who was Whiskey Pete? Whiskey Pete was a real person who ran a gas station and sold illegal moonshine during the Prohibition era in the 1920s. He was known as a violent and unruly man who was eventually committed to a California sanitarium, where he died in 1932. The legend and the haunting. The legend says that after his death, his grave was disturbed during the construction of the casino, leading to Whiskey Pete's ghost allegedly haunting the property. Also, maybe he was a bad spirit, I don't know. Some local lore claims that Whiskey Pete asked to be buried in the hills and facing the valley, which is why Ghost is said to be watching over his former property. His ghost is said to be watching over his former property. There have been reports of an eerie presence and sightings of an older man in old-fashioned Western clothes by guests and employees, though the details were vague for a long time. A connection to Primm Valley. Whiskey Pete's was the first casino opened by Ernest J. Primm in 1977 at the location then known as State Line, according to the Wikipedia page for Whiskey Pete's. The casino's name and legend are tied to Pete McIntyre, the notorious moonshiner who operated his business there before the modern casinos were built. Okay, so yeah, it was actually J. Primm that owned, you know, all of that, and then Whiskey Pete's, I guess, took over that casino and wanted to be buried to watch his property. Sorry, I thought it was all a Primm. It was to watch his property. Sorry. I'm trying to catch my breath and also trying to. Anyways, yeah, so he was trying to watch over Whiskey Pete's, and they were, I think, doing construction. I don't know if they ended up like finding the casket or something, because I think they were doing more construction, maybe expanding the property. I'm not sure, but they did just what he wanted. You know, they buried him up in the hills so that we can watch over his property. And what's crazy, right, is they say they see like appearances of a guy in old Western clothes. Like, is that real, or is that all like fake stories, you know, like a hoax? Like, do people actually see that, or do they just say it just to kind of hype up the story of, because it's real that he was a moonshiner, he did own that property and whatnot, but do they just say stories like that to get people to go, you know, check it out, and just for publicity, or, I don't know, you know, you never know. With the paranormal, you just don't know. I July 2025, leaving only a single thrift store remaining as of that time. The permanent closure was effectively complete around early to mid 2025, with the mall no longer open to the public and many parts of the surrounding resort town also closing. Timeline of decline. So 2022, only a few stores were left and the food court was completely shuttered. 2024, the mall, with the expectation of one tenant, was leveled. Early 2025, the mall was a ghost town, with some reports noting its complete closure around May 2025, and then July 2025, the only remaining tenant was the Sani thrift store, while the rest of the mall interior was closed to the public. Factors in its decline: the loss of popularity. The popularity of the Primm resort area dwindled in the 2010s, and then the pandemic happened, delivered a decisive blow to the already declining area. And then bus traffic to Primm also contributed to its decline. Then broader trends: outlet malls in general have lost some of their appeal over the past 2 decades. Let's see when it opened. Sorry, just play. So the Prism plans for the mall were announced in September 1995. Construction began in May 1997. It began as a joint project between 2 shopping center developers, the Gordon Group and I can't pronounce that. The fashion outlets of Las Vegas opened on July 16, 1998, at a cost of $75 million. Wait, is that even the one? Okay, yeah, I think it's that one. $75 million for it just to be open, not even more than what? Oh yeah, like 30 years, I guess. Well, I guess hopefully they made their money back, but damn, like, that's so crazy how much it costs to open something like that now, let alone the casinos. Casinos are hundreds of millions of dollars, almost in the billions, but they make it back so fast. If you think about it, the slot machines, people staying there, especially the bougie hotels, like $1,000 a night, they made their money back for sure within the first year or two, no doubt about that. And right now they're saying that Vegas is on a decline with tourism, and that they're like losing money, but yeah, right, like they're making hella money. But let's go ahead and dive into Buffalo Bills Casino. have not operated for years, and the resort's land is now slated for sale as part of a broader plan to repurpose the Primm properties. So, there you go. I guess they're not gonna open that. I was like hoping maybe though, because I would want to ride that roller coaster. I'm not big on rides, but I would ride that one. That one looked fun. But I think it wasn't really operating for a while because we went in 2015 a good amount of times with my mom and stepdad, my little brother, and I've never seen it on, and we would stop there for a minute too. Like, we would check out all the little casinos there, the gas station, get some snacks, and I never ever seen it being operated, or the log ride. The log ride for sure, there was not even water there. But we would go inside, and I would see like the little robot cowboys. It was so cool. I really liked it. I don't know if I would stay there. I would probably do it for like a haunted investigation. You know, I could probably put that on my other channel. But obviously I don't think I would stay there if I'm staying in Vegas because it's super far from the strip. Funny story though. I'm pretty sure it's really cheap for like events though, or 24/7 actually. Because when I was 15 in 2015, when we went, we seen we're looking at the Bonnie and Clyde car at, I think it was at Whiskey Beats, and I remember like, so now I'm really into raving, right, with my girl and my cousins and our friend group. I always loved EDM music. I always loved EDM music. And in high school though, I was super into rap. Like, I loved EDM music all the way up to high school, and then in high school I started listening to rap a lot more. And then at the time it was EDC weekend when we went, but I didn't think nothing of it. Again, like, I kind of fell out of the EDM scene. Not that I went to raves, I was too young, but I just wouldn't really care for that scene at the moment. And I remember seeing people checking out, I think, for EDC, and you could tell they had their outfits, like, I don't know if they had their outfits on or their braids, and like outfits hanging out of their bags. You know, the girls have a bunch of stuff like tutus and stuff, like butterfly wings. And it's just crazy now that I rave. I'm like, wow, like, but if I was like so into it back then, like how I was in middle school but not in high school, but say if I was super like in love with the scene and wishing I was 18 to go, I would have been so sad watching these people go to EDC or get ready for it or be leaving and stuff. I'm like, wow, I'm not old enough to go. But yeah, I think we went like 2 or 3 times to Vegas when I was younger, and each time it was for like EDC weekend, and now I'm super into like raving. And like I said, I've always loved EDM, but high school is just a weird transition into like SoundCloud music and just rappers in general. But yeah, I love Vegas, dude. It just brings so many people together all around the world, whether it's for a rave, for a rap concert, whatever, you know, like, it's so cool. Like, if I ever get old, like, God forbid, you know, nothing happens, but say if I'm able to retire and die old, I would love to move to Vegas and just, like, do content out there. There's so much to do, you know. I love making content now, so I could probably just vlog the strip with my girl, you know. We can go and try different hotels out and different foods, different restaurants, different attractions. It would be so cool. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that little session. I can do way more videos like this. I love doing videos like this, actually. It's so, like, cool. I section. Give this video a thumbs up. Hype it up if you can for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a blessed day or night, whatever time you're watching this. And I will see you